This is an ABP Live Podcast.
Hello and welcome to Clear Cut by ABP Live Podcast, a show tailored for the simple truth that there's nothing more important to a democracy than a well-informed electorate. This is your newsman Rudrashis signing in on a wonderful Tuesday evening. So lately, the only thing that's been echoing in the national capital of Delhi are the new liquor policy, the old liquor policy, Kejriwal government and Delhi's Lieutenant Governor. Now these are the topics that's been the center of attention in Delhi lately, followed by the new excise policy for the selling of liquor. Now basically, this liquor policy issue has been doing the rounds in Delhi's political circles. But Delhi's Deputy Chief Minister, Mr. Manish Sisodia, dropped a bombshell recently when he said that the Delhi government is returning to the old excise policy. However, Mr. Sisodia has blamed the BJP leadership for making the new excise policy a complete failure. But did the new excise policy, which was introduced by the AAP Party, only a failure because of BJP's pressure? Or is there something else behind it as well? So today, let your newsman help you explain what is the reason behind the failure of the new excise policy. And was the central dispensation the only one responsible for its failure? So Delhi's Deputy Chief Minister, Mr. Manish Sisodia, announced on Saturday that the Delhi government's ambitious new liquor policy will be scrapped entirely and that from 1st August, only government-owned liquor vendors will be allowed to sell alcohol in the national capital. Now, during the press conference, Mr. Sisodia said that since the new liquor policy was implemented in Delhi last year, all the corrupt and illegal practices of BJP had ceased to exist. Mr. Sisodia even said that BJP's muscle men were threatening liquor shop owners that their shops will be raided by CBI or ED. And due to these constant threats, many liquor shop owners had to shut down their businesses completely. Mr. Sisodia had also emphasized that BJP doesn't want liquor to be traded legally in Delhi. He further said that BJP wants liquor to be traded illegally in Delhi, just like Gujarat, which would eventually create a crisis and lead to black marketing. So basically, Manish Sisodia has said that BJP's pressure is the only reason that Delhi government had to return back to the old liquor policy. But, there's a big but. Do you know the other side of the story as well? The facts, the numbers, the figures? I'll tell you. So back in November 2021, the Delhi government had implemented the new liquor policy. The AAP Party-led Delhi government had aimed that the new liquor policy will lead to a tax income of around 10,000 crore rupees every year, whereas the tax income from the old liquor policy was of around 6,000 crore rupees per year. But now here's the fun part. Can you people guess how much the Delhi government has collected in tax in the last 8 months since the implementation of the new liquor policy? Make a wild guess, because the amount will shock you. So the Delhi government has earned a total of 1,993 crore rupees in the span of 8 months. Digest that. This means that the new liquor policy couldn't even collect half the amount that the old liquor policy used to make. Now, according to the numbers and figures from various media reports, the Delhi government had collected only around 600 crore rupees in excise duty between December 2021 and March 2022. 528 crore rupees in April 2022, 442 crore rupees in May 2022, and by June, the tax collection dropped to rupees 421 crore rupees only. And on top of that, the data submitted by the Excise Department to the Lieutenant Governor's office states that in the first quarter of 2022 to 23, the Delhi government had collected only 1,594 crore rupees in excise duty. And out of that, 980 crore rupees was of refundable deposit. This shows that the government had collected less of tax and more of refundable deposits. Now, according to this data, the Delhi government had collected 6,898 crore rupees in tax in 2019 to 20 and 5,741 crore rupees in 2021 to 22. Now we take the numbers from the first quarter of this year as a precedent, then in 2022 to 23, the Delhi government won't be able to make even half the amount what it used to in tax income. So now you all might be thinking that what's the reason behind this huge fall in tax income? So basically, under the new liquor policy, the government had planned to open 849 wine shops in 32 zones. But out of that, only 650 wine shops had opened up by 5th June 2022. But by the time July came, around 176 wine shops had closed down their businesses. The reason being extremely low income. So now Mr. Manish Sisodia has pinned all the blame on BJP and its muscle power. But by now we all know the facts, figures and numbers. And we can say that it's not just the BJP, but the Kejriwal dispensation miscalculated the liquor policy move as well, which eventually led to scrapping it down. So that's all the news and scoops I have for you today. I'll see you all again tomorrow with some new updates. Today's episode was produced by Lalit. This is your newsman Rudrashis Kanjilal signing off. Have a wonderful evening and keep listening to ABP Live Podcasts.
This is an ABP Live Podcast.